Is my mic muted? No, it's not, lovely. Because that was a mistake I made yesterday. I started the stream and then I had my mic muted. It is the 14th of February? Yeah, February. It's Valentine's Day. Hope everyone's having a good day. Got people to spend some time with. Whether you're Valentine's or not, doesn't really matter all that much, as long as it's someone you care about. Love comes in all forms, friends. I hope everybody has had a good start to their day. Because now, it's time for some StarCraft. Forgot to put my necklaces on this morning. I have 2 necklaces I always wear. One from my grandmother, who passed away a bit ago, and one from a close friend. Sometimes forget to put them on. They're nice necklaces though. Okay. What scene are we on? Okay, scene's looking good. Okay. Everything is fab. Let's get this show on the road. Oh, the sound is loud. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's a TVP, I believe. 4.5k versus I have no idea what rank Bass is. I remember casting him before, though. He was decent. Okay, so I've got to figure out the best region to play on, so... got to figure out like where the ping, what people's ping are, so you can get things to be a bit more fair. Okay. So vetoes so far, I've got submarine veto. Yeah. I mean, this is a pretty good way to start your day though, you know. Getting to watch, play, or cast StarCraft. It's pretty chill. Announcements? No, I cannot. Okay, Submarine, Yaganath, Lightshade, and Oxide are the vetoes. Ham has some really high ping on like NA Central and NA East. What region does he play on? Okay, he's a Singapore player. That's gonna really suck for him because he's actually gonna have the biggest ping, even though he's the he's the one who plays on this server. Yeah. What's my ping to Australia? My voice is a bit gravelly this morning. I've got 300 ping to frickin'... This is really annoying when you've got players that are in different parts of the world. And you just have to like figure out how to make it the least unbiased or the most fair. Okay, we're gonna put it on central then, because he's... The thing is, because of the ping, if Bass plays Disruptors, it's going to be really hard to deal with. Yeah, this is a nice start to the day. Getting a matchup I actually know how it works. And both of the players seem to be in a decent mood. Joking about in chat. Love to see it. So, my memory is really weird, so I never remember what people play, even if I've seen them on ladder or casted them before. Like, no matter how much I play them, unless they do the exact same thing over and over, I never remember. So I have no idea what Bass is gonna do. It's kind of fun because like every game is a surprise. I have to just each time I'm just like figuring out, wait, what is their style? In the top left corner of Death Aura LE, with the green Terran pieces representing only himself, it's Lambdoi. And his opponent in the bottom right with the red Protoss pieces. I don't know if he's representing anyone because he doesn't have the clan tag on this server, but it is Bass. Going with a low ground wall. Okay. Ooh, he's doing some shenanigans. I'm not sure. He's got to be doing some adept pressure, hasn't he? Or does he think it's Zerg? I'm gonna laugh my ass off if he thinks it's Zerg. Yeah, he's pathing to the low ground. And he's just like, oh wait, it's a Terran. Oops-a-daisy. He's gonna get a very bit annoying with this probe. Very annoying. Yeah. So we've got a lot of Protosses today in this group. It's 3 Protoss players and a Terran. So we're gonna get 2 PvPs and then just the rest of it is just straight PvP. It's gonna be menace. Ooh, got a freaking freaking proxy pylon in there. I think I might have seen this before. It's gonna build shield batteries and shit, I think. Which is fun. Is he gonna finish the zealot? That is 100 minerals to not do particularly much. So he's delaying his second gas and he's delaying his tech a bit to do this. But if it doesn't scout, if he can get some shield batteries down, it would actually be really difficult to deal with. So, you know, adepts can get across the map really fast, and you put a shield battery there, and our bunker's actually too far forward, so there's going to be a lot of space, like right here, where the adept can stand and get healed by the shield battery, but not actually take damage from any using the bunker. The Marine just didn't get microed at all, losing it to the zealot. He's going to just straight lose the low ground. This is a rough start for Lambda. Losing your low ground like this, like, there's no way he's going to be able to push out against this shield battery anytime soon. He's probably going to end up cancelling the natural. It's going to be interesting. You're going to have to see how Bass tries to prepare for the all-in that Lambda is going to have to do. He's forced now to do a one-base all-in. It's going to be a Twilight Robo. So yeah, that turned out really well. 200 mineral investment to force your opponent to combat. And he's not one-basing, he's building a command center. He's just playing normal. So as long as Bass doesn't play overly defensive, he's just going to straight win this, I think. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's... I'm sorry, I forgot to change the scene again. That's, not very professional of me. I think if this mine drop doesn't do big damage, I really don't see how Lambda is planning to get back into the game. Maybe he's hoping that his opponent's just going to overgreed. But he isn't really setting up for any strong one-base all-in. He's just doing a delayed two-base build. Oh, this is a full Marine drop as well. See, there's Adept's gonna get the scout that the natural's coming up. He tried to block it there. Actually, there aren't enough Marines here to just force it back because of the shield battery. A bit of miss micro there, meaning that the Adept doesn't kill off one of the Marines straight away, but there's mine drop going into the main of Bass. You might not notice. It's probably going to get 6 workers. Yeah. But I mean, he's still pretty far ahead. The orbital command's only just finished. Wait, what happened? Did another shot go off? Oh no, that was the Liberator. I was alt-tabbed for a second. I don't have a double monitor set up, so I have to alt-tab to see chat and stuff. So okay. Things are looking a bit better for Lamdoy now. There's a decent army advantage for Bass, which isn't particularly normal for this timing of the game. So that's probably gonna keep up, but Liberator got, what was that, 11 kills? It got 5 worker kills. Another Marine drop going out. So I'm not... I think this is gonna... Yeah, this is gonna be a 2-base all-in from Lando. And he's doing the... I think Bass is gonna try and move out with this Prism and get a charge lot drop going. Which can be a very nice way to put some counter pressure on whilst you're trying to just defend the push. That means it makes it so that you don't have to defend as efficiently, and you can still survive. Stalkers are getting pulled out of the lane that the rest defenders drops, or the full medevac and Marines drops on the probe line. So there are enough Stalkers here to clean it up. The medevac's just gonna hide in the back of that. He doesn't actually have blink. Oh, is this a 4-gate charge lot attack? What, aren't you supposed to do this with 5 gates? No, it is 5 gate, I'm just blind. I'm not too sure what the plan here is. That Guardian shield was popped really early. Okay, he's going to get on top of one tank and then block the ramp and run into the ramp at the same time and then run away. Highly coordinated attack here, ladies and gentlemen. Lose a Stalker to the random mine that's hidden. This is top tier coordination. It can be hard to keep your attack coordinated sometimes. It can be. Like, Bass is in a really weak spot right now. He's got a bunch of his army is just charge lots against concussive shell marauders and marines. And he has his Templars only just started, and he's not all that ahead. The Terran's getting a 3rd base. So it doesn't have an economic advantage. His tech is late, and he doesn't have a serious army advantage that he can abuse. So he really threw away his lead. I've got double medevac drops. Gonna head to the 3rd. I'm not sure why he'd head to the 3rd. Maybe he thinks that the 3rd's supposed to be the triangle 3rd. So the Terran should pull ahead in army supply soon, and because as he's catching up in work supply, catching out the prism like that, it pulls it back as well. Catching out a prism like that, just completely denying the counter attack potential. It's a really nice pick-off. And it does make Bass aware that it's there. That the double drop is out on the map. He's just building Archons. He's got to be heading for a push soon, because otherwise there's no real reason to get that many Archons so soon. You really want your Storm. One drop is going to kill off the 4th base while it's building, the other's going to start getting some probe harass. A bunch of Walkins are going to make it so it can't get any more damage in natural. It's going to just hide behind the natural and main and be a pain for the foreseeable future. Cancel on the 4th base. Actually, I don't think that was even cancelled. Drop back into the main. Chargeot's going to run on to the bio, killing a few pylons and then piecing out. So, it's going to drop a observer there to just keep an eye on that drop. Bass really needs to get some kind of damage himself. He's got his Archons, he's got a bunch of charge lots, but he's got no Storm, he's got no Colossi yet. His opponent's building Ghosts, and his opponent's making the 4th base and halfway done and he doesn't even have one started. He's just been cancelled over and over. He just keeps building Archons, so Bass really needs to get some serious damage done before Lando just takes a huge tech advantage, which isn't supposed to happen in PvT. 2 drops coming back in, 1 drop hitting the third, forcing a shield battery overcharge and some charge locks to be walked in. The other drops to attack the 4th that isn't there. Meanwhile, Bass's army's pushing in between the 3rd and the map. A lot of the Archons are stuck behind the Stalkers, so the Stalkers are going to get shot down without the Archons really being able to help. 4th base of the turn does get killed, but 23 workers will toss going down at home. The charge lock meat shield has been all melted away. Bass doesn't really have the income to keep this push alive, keep this push happening. He did kill 39 workers, but his pace is just getting killed off. All his gateways are depowered. He has 4 Archons at home that are going to have to kill off the gateway at the Nat or the Cybercore to be able to get out. And losing his 3rd base as well. That was really an issue. Bass had a really good start there. With the delaying the natural as long as he did. But then he just kind of failed it. Kind of failed it in the transition out of it, which can sometimes be one of the hardest parts. It can be one of the hardest parts because it's not... The game isn't as consistent. You don't get to play from the same start as often. And yeah, he didn't have any kind of tech advantage, which you really need against Karen. You really need the tech advantage so that you have the splash damage source without the Terran having the answer. That's the only real way to get a good fight. Because otherwise, like, Bio just outdoes... It outperforms gateway units by a lot. If you don't have the tech advantage, then your tech is just going to be killed off by theirs, unless you micro it really well. This is a really difficult game to play when you don't have the tech advantage. So gonna have to see if Bass can navigate this match a bit better and actually find a way to take good fights and not lose a lot of stuff to drops. Well, honestly, those are the kind of mistakes that you really can't fix quickly or easily, so I don't think it's going to happen. But who knows? Maybe he'll pull something out. Maybe his 5-gate charge-lot attack will get more damage done if he maybe gets it into the main or something. Gets the prism into the main. Because I know that was a build, it was, I think Prince vs Maru was the first time I heard it used. I actually beat Maru with it, which was a bit surprising, because Maru's such a big name and I've never heard of Prince before. Not the player, at least. But no low ground gateway nonsense this time. Unlike last game. I'd love to see some Stargate. I'd love to see some Phoenix Colossi. That's a really fun style to watch, I think. Ah, that feels awful when your probe gets caught like that. So now you kind of have to make the gamble of is his opponent actually getting a natural? Because Bass could just be like proxying a factory or something. Proxying some gateways and he wouldn't know. So since nothing's happening, and I am absolutely abysmal at coming up with things to talk about, why I'm abysmal at coming up with things to talk about, I don't know, but I am. I'm going to take the moment to say, we have sponsors! Berserker Esports, Matcherino, and Mr. and Mrs. Sniper, thank you very much. Helping with the prize pool and stuff. So it's going to be a Blink build. Or it's going to be the Prince build. You never know till it's actually built. Oh, this is a sketchy as hell move. Moving out with like 2 Stalkers is so sketch. Because like, what if your opponent's going Cyclones? Like, it could have a Cyclone out by now. If they were doing one of the tank push builds. And you just lose... You'd probably lose 2 Stalkers for free. I guess since the Reaper was dead. Since the Reaper was dead, you didn't really have to worry about that. This building placement hurts my soul. Because, like, when players place buildings like this, like, you use up so much space and make your main such a mess. Makes it so difficult to get around to defend drops, and makes it difficult to have space to build things. Okay, so this is a 6 mine, 1 or 6 marine, 1 mine drop. These can be bloody annoying to deal with. Because you really want to pull shit away from the mine and stuff, but then the marines come and just start DPSing things down. But Stalker's in position, so it's not really going to get anything done. Excuse me. It's going to be a 3 racks follow-up from our Terran player. I'd really like to see him do a solid push with this. Since he's delaying his third base, I'd really like to see him actually push instead of just doing drops and stuff. Because the drops are good, but when you've invested into army, you really need to get more value out of it than just a drop. But here's one drop coming in. One from probe pull and a probe kill. It's value. It's third is pretty late. I'm gonna have Colossi tech with the charge lots. Unless Bass decides this is the game to go Disruptors. That would be funny. He's on the little ping. He's on the higher ping here. Okay, are there any tanks in position? The tanks are all on the high ground. So if Bass actually knew this, he could just straight blink onto that bunker and kill it. He's got the Stalker count for it. But just walk forwards a bit and check if he's actually getting any tank shots. He's almost killed the eBay. Didn't quite get it going. Two tanks moving to high ground. This positioning of the tanks is not ideal. So if he just gets a spotter on the high ground, blinks a single stalker in, it dies, then blinks the rest on and just like kills all the tanks. Lambda would be kind of buggered. So I really don't like the positioning of them, they're too far forward. And none of them are on the low ground. Here we go. Colossi tech started. Gonna have the death ball. Trying to get Colossi and a Templar Archive on only 4 gas, though, that's a bit of a stretch. He's not going to have the gas income to actually produce off these. Okay. Double medevac drop. These players play very slow. Yeah, this drop is gonna do nothing. It's gonna lose. Ooh. Gonna lose a bunch of health on that medevac, damn. Oh, and now the medevacs are stuck. I just stuck there till he takes the gamble and tries to leave. Might just get shot down whilst leaving. So I don't like the amount of stalkers Bass has here. I mean, I'd probably build the same, but that's because it's a mistake. He has too many and it ends up not being as effective because you don't have much to actually engage with. And they get stuck behind each other and stuff. I think the number you want from I heard from Harston was 11. He has 17. Freaking triple medevac drop. It's like, no, 2 wasn't enough. 2 medevacs were not enough. We need 3. Drop the troops. I think Ghost Rifle goes brrr, shoots down 5 probes. Come on, blink under the medevacs. Blink under the medevacs. Wait, what? What killed the Nexus? That just... The Nexus got deleted. Was I just not paying attention to the health on it? Now the fourth base is getting right-click down. Super battery is not super enough, clearly. Oh. That dies as well. Bass is screwed. This is when you go all in. Goodbye, probes. It's just a whole mineral line gone. This is a real feels bad moment as a toss player. So yeah, okay, he's caught 4 medevacs worth of bio, but he's lost 2 bases for it. And it hasn't been perfect trades on the units. So he's down less than half workers. Down 2 bases now. And soon he's not going to have any kind of tech advantage. He's got 4 Colossi. Does he have a warp prism? No, he doesn't. He needs to just go. Like, this is an A move, the third situation. There's so many Vikings, though. I have no idea how Bass... I don't think Bass has a hope. Bass really needed to just have a stronger economy earlier and get his tech faster. His Vikings out on the car are going to catch off 2 Colossi. Going to lose a few Vikings, but it's absolutely worth it. Okay, only 1 Colossi actually went down, but the other one's wrecked health. Vikings are shooting them down in the sky. Ghost EMP just softens up these stalkers so much. Repair on the Plateau Fortress. Like, this base is hard to... This is going to be hard to attack. Colossi are doing some work though. And Blink Stalkers. Strong Stalkers. This was a close fight, closer than Lambda is going to be happy with, I think. But it's still... Like, this is a few charge lots and Stalkers. You do not break a planetary with this. He's down 20 workers against a Terran. This is not the position we want to be in. Okay, here come the Disruptors. Charge lots running by and doing nothing. He just cannot catch a break. So if he loses his prism, that's just sad. Yeah, that prism ain't gonna do anything. Single Zealot just inside the tank fire. It's like a spears, you know. If you keep them far away, like, it's dangerous as hell. Once you get close, a guy with a spear is just a guy with a stick. You know, I'm not all that scared of a guy with a stick, to be honest. If I have like a sword or even a gun or whatever. Yeah. Okay. I'm just waiting for Lambdoid to feel safe enough to actually push out and kill him. So, Liberators are going to siege up, and the only hope Bass has is some killer DT strikes and disruptor shots. I mean, he got a few units, but Liberators, Ghosts, nope, GG. GG to Lambdoid. That was pretty quick. Okay. So GG to Amdoy. He held well. He played strong and yeah. I think Danny's playing. I think Daniello's playing with some Rose Red. Did I get? Okay, it's not Daniello playing. It's Guitar King. I think I'm gonna crack open my monster. I'm thirsty as hell and don't want to go get water. Okay. So we've got Yaganatha first, then Death Aura, then Romanticide. 4.5k is Diamond 1 now. I wonder why they did that. Like, after slowly, like, turning it down what, the MMR boundary for it is, they finally, like, bumped it all the way up. Like... Okay. So, in the top left, top right, even, of Yaganatha LE, representing Valid G with the green Protoss pieces, it's Guitar King. And the bottom left is the teal or light blue, I'm not sure, colours are difficult. Representing Archangel's EU Junior, it is Tossidar. But just looking at the name, I'm right now just like thinking a little kid, just like an angry little kid, just like running up and kicking the shins. Because the angry European juniors is what the tag means. If you look in Swedish. It's just like everyone in the clan is just a little shin kicking kid. It's a clan of shin kickers. That's... Scout timings in PvP are weird to me. I used to think like second gate scout was just the best way to go if you're playing macro. With like all the different strategies that have come up now, like one gate expand being reasonable now, you actually have valid reasons to like pylon scout or gate scout, first gate scout. I've just started doing it, especially on maps like this, because the cannon rush is just so bloody strong. I just cannot deal with it without doing a gate scout and like catching the probe in the middle of the map, seeing it coming. Okay. Tossidar. This is going to be a 3-gate proxy, I think. Let's see, yeah, proxy 3-gate. If they chrono the warp gate, it's very likely. Oh my god, is Guitar King just gonna straight scout us? He is. So if he spots this right here, this is... It's not the worst. Because like, it's not a robo where you just don't do anything. It's not a starport where you do it, or Stargate, it's where you do nothing and then just have an oracle flying around. But Tossadart isn't going to be able to deny this natural at all. The gate might get depowered, which is going to be nice. I know high ground vision from the probe anymore. So Tossadart should drop his own natural soon, which is why this isn't the worst strategy to get found out when doing. Because your natural is pretty quick behind your opponents. Well, it's still not nice to... Tossadart chronoed his warp gate, and his warp gate is done after his opponent's. That ain't too hot. I think Guitar King must have chronoed as well. So... I learned how to do proxy through gate from Holy Hit. I was watching his stream and playing at the same time, and I was just like, hey, how do I beat this guy who's way higher than me? And like Holy Hit was like, just through gate. He like, whilst I was playing the match and he was playing his, explaining how to do a proxy 3 gate. And then I ended up winning like really easily. But in this situation is kind of difficult because like shield battery overcharge and sentries are just really good. But he said like what you're supposed to do here is just warp in 3 adepts and start pressuring. Yeah. I had to DM him and ask him. This is not nice. Well, there are more stalkers here for Guitar King, so he doesn't even need to fight with shield batteries. Like, he can just straight up take this fight. This is just I don't even know what does. I think one of the adepts got in. Oh, that's cute. I say cute, it's killing 5 probes, enough to make both adepts worth it. So... I actually put them even again. Guitar King's blink is way quicker. Like, Tossadart doesn't even have a Twilight yet. Oh, come on, he's gonna be looking for your proxy. Why are you warping in adepts and sending them that way? Like, Guitar King was gonna start looking for the proxy soon. I think at this point, if Guitar King just like drops, goes up to like 4 gate. No, he's going 4 gate. And he just goes in with a bunch of Blink Stalkers he can probably kill. Just because of how bad Tossadar's early game was. Like, they're even in army, or works even, but Guitar King's a decent bit ahead in army. He's going to blink into the main. No? Okay. We can just blink right on top of the Immortal, I think, and burst it. I'm not sure. He doesn't have any prism here, though. But he doesn't really have to. Ooh, nice catch onto that Stalker. Just like picking it off and then blinking away. Sexy. So I think Guitar King's only hope right now, oh no, Tossadar's even. His only hope is getting either disruptors and getting good shots off, or going DTs and getting a bunch of economic damage. Because Guitar King is just going to be able to keep him pinned for quite a while. Unless he decides to walk home for no apparent reason. But he has his third base up and running. So Guitar King is just going to pull ahead again. It was a very safe, conservative use of the advantage he had. He had a small army advantage and used it to just pin his opponent in a bit. So, you know, I can get behind that. These two armies just walking right past each other. I think Guitar King's probably going to hit first. Yeah, Tostar's pausing a bit. So he's going to come in and Guitar King's going to see that there's nothing there. So I think he's just going to like kill off the pylon. Maybe get a few probe kills and then just... No, he's actually going to target the production. Oh, that's pretty smart. So Guitar King is probably going to lose his natural for this move. Unless Tossadar doesn't focus it down. If Tossadar focuses it down, he can absolutely kill it. But now all of Tossadar's production is dead. So it really doesn't matter all too much. Because Guitar King can just keep on warping in and he's going to be massively ahead in army. It's actually just straight going for the base trade. So like he will have more stuff to kill his opponent's base faster, but the issue with this is Tostar could slip some probes out. So it's a really risky move. He's just hoping that his opponent doesn't find a way to slip the probe out from under him. There we go. Like, the probe disappears off. Now, yeah, Guitar King has... never mind. Those results are on his opponent's side of the map. Guitar King... he needs to kill off two of his opponent's Nexus, and then just recall to the third. Like, that's the only real play here. Like, he's killing all the pylons, but these pylons aren't really doing much because he's just so heavily supply blocked. It's the Nexus he needs to take out to have the economic advantage, which I have said multiple times now. I'm not sure what Tostar's doing. What buildings does Tostar have? Oh, he had a gas. Okay, he built a gas there. Excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. I really thought Tossadar was going to die when the building in his main died. Okay. So Guitar King doesn't really have an army advantage right now. He has Blink, his opponent doesn't, but the rest of the upgrades are the same. He has no Archons. His opponent only has 6 charge lots. And he has more Stalkers. Tossadar does have a Prism though, which could be really annoying. But both players are probably just going to end up holding their bases. And Guitar King has more workers to start this with, by quite a bit. In fact, Tossadar just needs to straight up drop a bunch of pylons, because they're both so heavily supply blocked. That's just going to be their macro for the next few minutes, is just pylons as often as they can afford it. You know, what's the point of having all the tech and production if you actually just can't build anything? This is a risky move from Tossadar moving back. It's going to work because Guitar King has no prism, although he does have Blink Stalker, so he can get down and move about. But he will be able to deny his opponent from getting the low ground completely. Just because of how little minerals are left here. Like we've got 3k minerals left, I believe. No, two and a bit thousand. So if Tossadar just stays on the low ground, he can starve his opponent out completely. Oh, that's not great losing your... No, why are you running up? You don't need to run up. He's just losing Zealots doing this, and the stocks in the back can't attack, so his army was being less efficient. But he did lose. Tossadar did lose one of his immortals sooner, but now he... What? What? I don't know what happened there. Tossadar had no right to win this game. At all. Like, what was this fight? Let's just look at this fight again. What happened here? Okay, so the Archons were at the front, and his Immortals were at the back, just chewing away. Then one of his Immortals died, but the other two, I don't even know. I don't even know what that last fight was. I said in a party chat, I don't even know what that last fight was. Guitar King's only response was, that was a yikes. That's what that was. He is right. That last fight was a bit of a yikes. If all the fights are going to be like this, though, this is just going to be wild. They said this is how most of their games are, so this is going to be a fun series. It's always fun when you get people who play against each other a lot, because it's just different. It's very different. So, I'm gonna just say my understanding of the game goes out of the window from here on out, because that game should not have happened like it did. They broke a few rules of how you're supposed to play StarCraft, I think. So... I hate the alt bug. When you like alt tab and stuff, sometimes like your computer thinks you're still holding down on alt. And so it just messes up all the hotkeys and everything. I made a realization recently. So, Monster Energy drink is... It has a lot of caffeine and a lot of sugar, so it makes you go zoom. It makes you go zoomy, hyper. And the majority of the flavours taste like some kind of juice. Monster Energy drink is literally just zoom juice. It is hyperactivity fuel. And it is delicious. It is bloody well delicious. Not good for your health, though. But... Okay. So... Let's see. Who proxies something this game? Who does some stupid bullshit that ends up working well? Or doesn't end up working. But then ends up winning even when they shouldn't. Because King Cybernetics boys a significant bit faster. Okay. Everything's looking pretty standard. Oh, for fuck's sake, I just lost a bunch of my monster. Gotta get my towel. I was freaking trying to move my water bottle, and then I dropped it. My water bottle hit against my monster can. Now I've got to freaking wipe my desk down. So, do any of you lot use any really weird settings or control schemes? Like one thing I use that I've used since ages ago, since I've been playing League, is drag scroll. And what that is instead of dragging my mouse to the end of the screen, what I normally do is I just press a button and then move my mouse about, and I can drag the screen. I think that's fairly common in StarCraft. It's really not in League, which is where I first found the setting and started using it. But are there any other settings any of you use that are unusual or strange in any way? Okay. So we've got a DT Shrine out of Guitar King. It's going to be... I think like DT's got a lot stronger recently because players have started to delay their robo more because you really don't need it anywhere near as early aside from against DTs. That's the only reason you need an early robo nowadays. You need it for a prism when you want to attack, you need it for observers for DTs, and you need it for disruptors. Because immortals aren't as strong as they used to be in the meta. Like, they're good early, and if they're good if you can get a lot, but in smaller amounts, they're really not. So I think Guitar King's DTs are going to end up getting a fair bit of damage. Because the Robo's only just started for our Protoss in the bottom right. But they really need to get significant damage, because otherwise the faster Nexus is going to be a problem. Oh, this is not a sight you like to see. A Nexus with full energy. So yeah, Robo's only just finished now. And here come the DTs. I was trying to get it into the main. You know, if you snipe the probe that's guarding against adepts, your opponent might not remember to put it back, and then you can send adepts in, and it's more likely to get damage. Okay, so 7 probes so far. Now both players have their third base built. So this is actually done. This has done good. Damage, done more damage than it needed to. Now Guitar King actually has a head start on his +2. Although his charge is later. So there'll be a timing attack for Tossadar where he'll have charge and his opponent won't. But I don't think that'll matter too much, because Archons and shield batteries are kind of strong as fuck. That laugh is disgusting. That little giggle. Oof. Okay, this move out looks weak. Like there are so few units in this match right now. Like both players are just probing up so hard. Okay, I've got 2 adepts trying to get some damage for Guitar King while he defends these stalkers. Not the most difficult defense ever. Now you can just like shade forwards or shade out and just get free worker kills. Yeah, he's going to continue to shade in, so he's going to get more worker kills, but he will lose these 2 adepts. Misclick on the probes there. Means he doesn't get 1 extra. And yeah, Tossadar senses, like, because of the direction the adepts came from, he might get a sense that the proxy pylon is going to be over there. So, I really like Guitar King's position. He's got decent tech. He's got faster 4th base and faster +2. Well, 4th base gets killed, so that's 600 minerals he just lost, which isn't great. Yeah, I'd like to say remind everyone. Do the match, Reno. They are one of our sponsors, along with Berserk Esports. So remember to use the codes to help pay for the prize pool. Costs you nothing and gives the players extra money. That's just stonks. These DTs do not have blink. Okay. So this is a really nice timing window for Guitar King, because he has +2 and his opponent doesn't. So I think Tossadar dies here. Because these DTs. Okay. He should have actually just blinked on. He could have blinked on top of the shield battery. Micro not looking the greatest from Guitar King. No defensive blinks. Nice force field kills off the Immortal. Nicely played by Tossadar. And now the +2 is done for him, so he actually won't end up dying here. His Templar Archives might go down though. Okay. So, Guitar King has a bit of a tech advantage right now. He has the ability to morph more Archons, and he has a Robo-Bay finished. So he can get Disruptors, get Archons, and that's going to be really good tech to have versus opponent's army, which is just Stalkers, Charge-Lots, Archons, and Immortals. The Archons will deal really nicely with the Charge-Lots, and the Disruptors will force the Stalkers to blink, and it will deal a lot of damage to the Archons and Immortals, which are very immobile units. But he has to be in position, and he didn't have vision, so he actually gets caught completely out of position. No Disruptors are ready yet, so they don't really come into play. No shield battery here for Guitar King, which would have been a big part of his defense. His Archons are slowly getting killed off, which is really not nice. There's a lot of gas to be losing that you really need to have to help deal with your opponent's charge lots. Now, the meat shield that's protecting these Immortals at the back is slowly dying off. I think it stops. Yeah, I can just blink right on top of these Immortals and kill them down. So now most of the DPS is dead for Guitar King. At the same time, he's just lost all of his workers at his core. This is desperation. Yeah. GG to Tossadar. This was a interesting match, interesting series. GG to Tossadar. Like, Tossadar has like quite a bit more MMR, but Guitar King, like 4.5k, if I can press it, to 4.8k. Guitar King did pretty well. Okay. So now we just need to get Bass. Okay. So now I got Guitar King versus Bass. Another PvP. Actually, same MMR. We're actually all the same MMR. We've got 3 4.5k players in the same lobby. Which isn't that hard to do, but still. Okay. So now who plays after? So okay, then it's going to be Tossadar and Lambdoi. Like loser of that and then winner of the other. Okay, so first map's going to be Pillars of Gold. The base with no gold. The map with no gold bases. Actually, there are no gold bases this season, are there? Which is a bit of a change from the seasons past. In recent seasons. Yeah. No gold bases. There's been a bit of experimentation on Romanticide and Death Aura with rich gas bases, but no gold bases. We've actually got a lot of Protoss. We have just a lot of Protoss this season. Okay. In the top right-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, with the orange Protoss pieces representing the shin-kicking Archangel EU Juniors, it's Bass. And his opponent in the bottom left, representing Valid G, is the purple Protoss player, Guitar King. I just find the image of all the clan members being angry kids, angry European juniors, just running around, just kicking their opponents in the shins to win. I find that image amusing. This is ballsy building placement by Guitar King. He's just expecting his opponent to not go adepts at all. This monster ran out way too quick. So both players are actually going one gate builds. But Guitar King's doing some weird proxy. I have absolutely no idea what it is. And Bass is doing a one gate expand. Oh, one gate Stargate. Okay. So that's... He's got to be doing that purely because, or simply because it's Pillars of Gold. And it's a very common map to do one gate expand on. Maybe he knows his opponent really likes one gate expand. Because this build dies to anything other than one gate expand, really. Any kind of pressure. Bass is looking. I love this position, this proxy location. It's like Bass is looking all over in like the normal spots, and it's just not there. Shadows. This is proxy Void Rays. That's actually okay. That's a really far away. Look, I have no idea what to think of this. Ooh, the Adept got in. This is going to be really nice for this attack. This Adept getting in is going to really hamper the economy. If he can actually target fire, right? Okay, there we go. Like, 3 probes is going to make this just so much harder for Bass to defend. Because he's going to have a... His production is just going to be weakened considerably by it. And this Void Ray getting even more kills. This Void Ray of Guitar King can't stay here forever, because Bass's Void Ray is going to come out with more shields. But this has got a lot of damage done. He needs to peace out now. No, he loses it. Or does he? Yeah, he loses it. But the 1 base player now actually has more probes than the 2 base player. So he hasn't started building any shield batteries yet. You'd normally want to start them much sooner. It's also starting a Twilight Council. Like, I really don't like that choice. So I think you'd either... I'm really not a fan of how it's targeting Spike Ball. I think you'd either want to go full on in the all-in, and go for a second Stargate to just break your opponent quicker. Or you'd want to get your own second base and try and just get enough damage to be even on transition out. It actually makes me think, transitioning out of weird stuff in a mirror matchup is much easier than transitioning out of it in a non-mirror matchup, because you have the same units and you can just build the same amount of stuff. Battery overcharge is very strong. Tarking just going further up than he should. Loses two. This is over for the Tarking. He's lost like 3 Void Rays now. Yeah, 3 Void Rays in a Void Ray all-in. He hasn't started a Twilight upgrade. Okay, he's going DPs against someone with a Stargate who could build an Oracle. Okay. Bass tried to click down the Void Rays of the Tarking, but one came back to reinforce. These two just keep going back and forth, losing, like, overextending into each other and losing their Void Rays. But the weird thing is, like, this is going to work out for Guitar King, because, and the weird way this works, is that because Guitar King is constantly trading Void Rays and keeping the Void Ray count low, Bass has not had an opportunity to build an Oracle. But whilst I say that, he has an Observer. So, now it's kind of over for our dear Guitar King. I don't see what we can do it yet. Okay, what's the second map? Romanticide. That was an interesting attack. That would have worked out. Sweet. I think they're questioning why I'm being slow there. Tossidar cheering both of them on. Whoever wins this is going to be facing whoever loses Tossidar versus the Terran. I forget his name. Okay. But I did really like the start last game for Guitar King, because he got the Adept in, and then he got the Void Ray in. If he didn't lose the first Void Ray, he killed like 6 workers. If it didn't overextend, built shield batteries sooner, he could have targeted down his opponent's Stargate probably. And then killing the Void Ray production, you just get more Void Rays and you just overpower. Which is one of the big weaknesses of putting your tech in the wall like that. it can make those kind of all-ins harder to defend. But yeah, that's actually a really good description of it. Whoever's using this Destiny Starleague account. It was very much a game of ping pong. Like, one player would go get a Void Ray kill, then back off, and then they'd overextend and lose two, and then their opponent would go and get one. Talking misposition the gate, I think. Had to cancel. It always sucks when you misposition buildings early on and are forced to cancel it. Like, especially if it's like your Nexus and you misposition it by a tile, you then either have to lose 100 minerals very early or have to lose a large amount of income for the rest of the game until your natural mines out. It is a pain. Oh, depths. I don't like adepts on this map. Your adepts get killed really easily. So after the next best of 3, I need to go cook lunch. What do people think I should cook for lunch? Or some really good food. Or everyone's favourite post-cast food. Oh, they actually finished the pylon. Okay, I'm sorry for the fact that, like, there are lots of quiet spaces in my casting, I feel. Just because I'm not the most talkative person when there's not much to really comment on. That was a mistake. Certainly it's Captain Obvious. This is an interesting opener though. Going 2 adepts and then 3 sentries and a stalker. It gives you a bit of like early harass power, but then you don't really have much of a fighting army to deal with early pressure. Like here we've got 6 stalkers. And Bass is going to have some strong harass with this. He's only just started his warp gate research actually, wow. Okay, good force fields though. It catches 2 stalkers out, but there's no fighting power there to kill it. Him. So he actually just loses a sentry. And it actually targeting down the non-armored units that deal less damage, which is a mistake. Because like you want to target the stalkers down when fighting the stalkers. The stalkers deal more damage and take more damage. So you're gonna kill the units faster, and you're gonna reduce their DPS more. No, it's a good trade for Guitar King, actually. Nice. Okay. He's looking for an opportunity to harass with these adepts. I don't think he's going to get any. Yeah, his opponent's just going to be on top of these pylons. Something that would cute move you could do, probably, is if you got a warp prism and load 4 zealots, maybe 4 adepts into it, and then shade 2 adepts into the main from the natural to force them to drop the pylon, and then just drop the warp gate units from the prism. That is a similar move to what you do with a Stargate, proxy Stargate sometimes when you have adepts. You use the adept to force them to block themselves out of the main, and then you harass their main. Guitar King's up 7 workers. Has a much faster +1. No blink yet though. He actually went charge before he went blink. So I feel like he's going to be setting up for a timing attack or something. I don't know. Like, his +1's done. Is he just going Immortal Archon charge bot? I'm not sure what he's doing. I mean, he's up in workers, so it does work. Maybe he's just going for a +2 timing, like the old charge lot Archon style. Actually, if he gets a prism now and then harasses with these 2 immortals, he's playing the old PvP style. Which will work this game because of his economic advantage. He's going to be chrono boosting that +2, yeah. Now this is also a bit different to the old style, because the old style you would do it on 44 probes. So 8 gate was enough to spend all of your money. But now since you get a faster third and can probe more, you end up... 8 gate is no longer enough, so you can either like tech behind this attack, or you can expand, or you can drop more gateways and be even stronger with it. You could probably go up to quite a few gateways, like 12. But neither of these players has particularly strong vision around their bases. So these Stalkers, they're gonna kill... They could kill a shield battery, or they could kill a bunch of probes. And I really like this kind of usage of just like... Because you have so much APM that you're not using in a Sur game, just using non-committal harassment units like Blink Stalkers to get value for free is just... it's a good way to play. I really appreciate that kind of move. And it's something I really like to do with Adepts, Zealots. Yeah, Stalkers as well if I have some left over. I was actually going to blink on the 4th. So cancelling the 4th. Thing is, he has so few units at home because he's doing this harass that I think Guitar King could just kill him here. Gonna dive right onto one of the Immortals. Shield Battery Overcharge uses a very far forward Shield Battery, so it just gets straight targeted down, and then the charge lots just get killed off by the Archons. +2 is now here for Guitar King, so he has an upgrade advantage as well. His Warp Prism did die, so this attack might fizzle out. I don't think it will though. There aren't any observers though, so DT Shrine that's going to finish now could end up holding, I think. Okay, the Prism does get killed, but not before 5 DTs get warped in. So Bass kind of holds. These Stalkers, they're trying to get value, they're not getting much though. That's funny as hell, watching the charge lots like charge behind other units. I think Bass is kind of dead here, unless you can target down this Nexus and then kill a bunch of workers. Guitar King, he has two observers now. These DTs are just going to get surrounded. He should just run the Zealots ahead like Zergans vs Hellions. Archon again. Okay. Don't know. Oh, he's only got 3 army supply. Damn. Damn it, this monster didn't even last me like an hour. Guess it's just like the constant talking makes you really thirsty. Yeah, this is GG for talking. Double proxy nexus. It's good meme. He's got to be hoping for a killer disruptor shot or something. I don't know. I have no idea what Bass is waiting for. Yeah. His opponent has observers. He doesn't have any disruptors. He doesn't have any army, full stop. He has 7 army supply, which is 2 DTs and a zealot. And an observer. Yeah. That was the definition of a desperation play. Okay, so now we have... Who do we have? We have Tossadar versus the... Who just won? Didn't... I thought Guitar King won the first one. Ah, I do not pay attention. Ah, okay. I thought Guitar King won the first one. I was actually wrong. What the hell? So... We're just shit-talking each other about playing Protoss, but we all play Protoss. So everything we say applies to each other. I have weak memory, and Guitar King said like that's why you play Protoss. Like that's why we play Protoss. It's like yes, sir. I am out of hydration. Oh, lovely. Okay, so it's actually 1-1. Bass won the first game. I just don't pay enough attention, clearly. So... Guitar King wins the longer game, it seems, because not much harass really happened, and Guitar King won. But Bass won when he was being defensive and was getting cheesed. So I feel like Bass's best play might be to do something more aggressive to try and get some kind of advantage early. Because he didn't win the even game. He won when he got Proxy Void Raid in a really weird way. Lost when he had to deal with an 8-gate charge Archon Immortal timing. That wasn't really even a timing. So everyone who's just come to the stream, thanks for joining. This is the third best of 3. After this match, we're going to have the winners match. It is Tossadar versus Terran player Lamdoy. And after that, we're going to have whoever wins this versus whoever loses the next best of 3. So it'll either have a PvP or a PvT. Remember, the tournament is sponsored by Matcherino, Berserker Esports, and Sniper's family, apparently. This is going to be a proxy Stargate. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is going to be Oracles, or if this is going to be Void Rays. It really could be either. But there's no 1-gate expand this time, so it's going to be... Okay, it's Void Rays. It's going to be much more difficult to defend, and to defend healthily. Because it's going... Double Sentry. This pylon getting caught out is really not nice. Ooh, that was a very nice movement by Bass, forcing the force field to be dropped instead of just a shield battery, because it was just barely late. And getting 2 probes, and giving time for these shield batteries to start building. So this is going to be big. This is going to be really important to this working out. Now, in this game, Bass has the shield batteries right next to his opponent's production, so he gets to depower the gateways like this, which is just a really rough thing to have to deal with. I normally kind of just GG here, because this is very difficult to deal with. But his opponent does have a second base, so Guitar King can get an economic advantage here and use that to take a lead if he can hold on. But because he played a 3-sentry opener and didn't find out it was proxy Void Rays till very late, he doesn't have a lot of fighting force to really deal with these Void Rays. There are as many Void Rays as there are Stalkers. So this is... I don't really see how Guitar King can hold on here. Okay, Shield Battery Overcharge used to keep the pylon alive so the infrastructure doesn't go down. Guitar King is going to lose his natural though, so I'd love to see if he just used the energy to just chrono boost whatever he can. So at least gets value out of that on the Nexus. Yeah, he keeps standing very far forwards. I think he needs to just let these 2 gateways die. Simply because he can't keep moving like this. He doesn't have the mobility. Like, and he keeps losing Stalkers trying to defend these gateways, when he already has 2 gateways behind it. Okay, shield battery overcharge used. Is that the shield batteries for Bass are actually starting to slowly run out of energy. So he is running out of steam just a little bit. Okay, here we go. This is yeah. This is what the talking needs to do to be able to hold these gateways. Just have these forward shield batteries. Picking off that shield battery is really nice because it doesn't have a lot of energy left, but it's energy regeneration that is shield regeneration. Talking isn't holding perfectly, but he's holding well. But he's gonna lose. Simply because of the fact his opponent's locked him in, and he's just been... Holy shit, he's actually been losing more than I thought. He's down so many resources. Yeah, this Adept's just gonna force... It's gonna force the Stalkers to move back. He called the bluff. The talking called the bluff and moved his units back to the front. Okay. The Void Ray is moving forwards, but they're actually not in range of any shield batteries that have energy, so he ends up losing like 4 of them. Now Talking's blink is gone, so he could just blink right under that Void Ray. Chooses not to though. Maybe he doesn't realise that he can. Maybe... How many Stalkers are there? There's a lot of Stalkers. So there is too many to do that. This Talking, he's broken out now. He has the Nexus going up, but his opponent's got Immortals coming. He's got a Robo. I think Talking actually killed one of his own Stalkers. But Talking's just behind in every way he can be. He's behind in Stalker count. He's behind in tech units. Like, his opponent has a Void Ray and an Immortal, another soon to be finished. And they're actually coming to the front. He's down in Stalker count, down in workers. What he really needed to do was he needed to lose less Stalkers and just give up the gateways at the front much quicker so that he could get a higher Stalker count and then bust out. Talking, his main issue was overextending too many times and losing a bunch of Stalkers that is just completely critical to dealing with the strategy in the way he was attempting. And now he's trying to hold on to a second base with less army, while he also has less workers. So shield barriers he has are definitely going to help him hold on, but being stable does not mean being in a good position at all. I'd love to see disruptors come out for Talking, or trying to send some adepts across the map. Because he really needs some way to actually get even and not just alive. Eventually Bats is just going to have enough Stalkers and Immortals to just run up and one-shot everything. Which is about now, honestly. Double the army supply. This move out from the Talking is really unfortunate. But wouldn't make much difference anyway. So now Talking's just pushing in on just the overwhelming amount of Stalkers here. And the Void Rays and Immortals to back them up as well. Like, there are a lot of shield batteries here, but Bass's army just out DPS's them. And now all the shield batteries are dead. So now it's goodbye shield battery energy, goodbye Stalkers, goodbye probes, and goodbye Talking. Thank you for playing, mate. So then we have gonna say thanks to Guitar King for playing. It was definitely fun casting that. Yeah, unfortunately he's knocked out now. Alright, I'm gonna hop over to an A then. Okay. Okay. Okay, I need to go to the bathroom real quick because I have drunk a lot and now I need the toilet. So I will be right back. Okay. I am back. Alright, okay, so first one is Death Aura. Then we'll have Light Shade and Pillars. Nice BVT. Let's get the show back on the road. Okay. All that caffeine I consumed is now gone. Let's go. Probably not all of it, but a lot of it. Okay. I don't know how Tossadar plays PvT. Lambdoi, he did Mind Drops, and he did lots of drops. He really liked drop play. So I'd love to see if Tossadar was watching the first match, I'd love to see him go some kind of Phoenix-based play. Because that can really counter heavy drop-based styles. Just because of how, like, you can just like pick up the Motorbats when they're flying about, so you can end up getting a lot of value out of the Phoenixes and really just completely deny the drop-based play. But there is the caveat to that style of mass mind drops like Maru does versus Phoenix styles, where you just kind of, you hope that one gets through and completely ruins them. And you just throw mind drop after mind drop, and eventually, because they're having to defend, and you get to decide when they have to respond, they're probably going to slip up eventually. Which is, when people talk about defender's advantage and stuff, people are normally talking about the advantages that exist within the game itself, like terrain, positioning of buildings, things like that. There's another aspect to it, which is actually the mental aspect, the player's attention and mechanics. That actually gives the attacker an advantage, the person who's doing the aggression, because they get to decide when it happens, and the person who makes the engagement gets to decide where. Now, that person could be the attacker or the defender. It really depends on who wants to attack, and it depends on who wants the fight to happen. And then the person who's getting the fight engaged on, they decide where the engagement happens. So that's a nice little move of the Marines there, moving them in front of the bunker so that the Adept can start hitting the Marines, but cannot hit the SCV building the bunker. There's lots of little things in this game that you can really pick up on if you pay attention. I think that's probably the biggest difference between higher rank and lower rank players, is just these very small things that better players will do more of. They'll do more small things better and do them more consistently. And like, it ends up adding up a lot. And it's just little things, but there's lots of them. There's so many little things you can do to varying degrees of potency. I have no idea what Lamb does. He was doing this in the first series. He moved the mine around in really weird places. I'm not sure what his goal is. The observer won't spot this. So Tossadar doesn't really know where the drop is right now. He knows one will probably hit soon. He has a pylon in his main base to spot it coming from the dead space. Okay, he's got 4 gate blink. Well, that's a very cute move. Using the prism to scout for the drop. The drop. He actually started moving the stalkers away. Okay, it does end up killing the medevac with 1 marine in it. This mine, he actually retargeted it. Lando actually retargeted it, getting like 2 or 3 extra kills. It's a cute warp into the cellar though. Again, small little things players do. Small little ways to use the tools they have. But it's just beautiful to see when they all come together. This Liberator is nice. Just waiting there in the background. Now I like this tank positioning. The tank on the high ground is very far back, so it's having to run just so far in to be able to kill it, and actually it's going to lose just almost all his stalkers to it. By the time he gets out, gets a warp in round, and gets back in with these stalkers, another tank's going to finish building. And Tossadar lost basically all his stalkers there. He's had to warp in 3 at home. This is really not the ideal situation for Tossadar. He does kill off the Liberator, but he's behind 5 workers, even on bases, and his opponent has his 3rd base a third of the way done. So this is... he really needs to get something done. I just don't see how he can. With the way the tanks are positioned, there's just no opening. So we're going to have to see what Lambdoy's plan is to take advantage of the... to make use of the advantage he has, and how Tossadar's going to try and catch up. I can't say I'd be particularly against Tossadar doing a double expand, because he's behind economically, but he sort of has his opponent pinned, and his stim is really late actually. Ooh, nice blink on the tank though. So that's going to catch one tank that wasn't covered by any others. And now he can just get a lot of damage here. Pulling off quite a few marines. Well, that dropship's just sat there, not really doing anything. Now this is a much better time to be doing this blink up into the main, because the blink stock count's higher and tank counts are actually the same. Almost got the warp prism there. Okay. He's going to catch out these. He's going to actually kill both of the tanks here. He's going to lose quite a few stalkers for it, but good micro to save a few. There is a marine drop at Tossadar's 3rd, and the Stim Bio will be able to push back the stalkers that are at Lando's 3rd. So actually he's probably going to have to recall very soon. And Lando is just getting a whole bunch of marine or probe kills, actually. Killing 14. Now they're even on base count, and he has the 4th base started. This is just a really bad position for Tossadar to be in right now. He doesn't even catch that drop, so that drop can hide in the back of the main and just be a constant small threat. And there's not a lot of supply either. It's a very low health medevac and 3 marines. Second starport is starting for Lando. But I just really like his position. He's very ahead economically because of the even workers, mules, and having his 4th base nearly done. There is a small window where Lando doesn't really have any Vikings right now. So Tossadar will... his Colossi are a bit uncontested. There's only really one, another one being rallied across the map now. Also, no extended bomb alliance, actually. Oh, please tell me, move out. Oh, I thought Lando was gonna like fly out with those dropships and get them caught out by the stalkers. That would have been really sad for him. But this is good building positioning by Lando. Those supply depots kind of make it harder for the charge lots to engage. And the tank positioning makes it so the stalkers can't really stand anywhere without getting shot to high hell. But the 4th base is pretty undefended. Ooh. These 2 marines have gotten so much value. And there's only 2 Vikings out right now, so he can just focus fire them down and warp in zealots behind this. Use Blink Stalker Micro to keep this Stalker line alive, and these Colossi, the Bio not really able to run them down and focus on them. But now, second set of Vikings is not really going to be able to do anything more here. But killing the 4th base, Tossadar's not in a good spot. He's in a workable spot. He really needs to get his Templar Archives. He would ideally want to have them done soon. Ideally, he'd want to have his Templar Archives done now. And he actually has no ground upgrades. Okay. Can't say I'd argue with a triple torch, to be honest. Just catch up. But I don't know if you can afford that. Okay. So this is going to be really difficult for Tossadar to hold here. He needs shield batteries. He needs really good control against these Vikings. Not starting out great, getting one of his Colossi almost killed, the other's very low health. The Prism Micro is starting to come into play now, though. So it does keep them alive. Those 2 Colossi are really important, as there's only solid form of splash damage. Not having any shield batteries anywhere, though, is not fabulous. It's +2/+2 turn army versus a no upgrade toss army. So fights are just not going to be efficient for Tossadar at all. He has kind of chronoed the hell out of probes and is now... So he's back in... He's got an economic lead. So if Tossadar can stay alive and not lose too much with his small economic lead, he can come back, but caught out of position, this army is going to kill off the 4th, and now Tossadar actually just has nothing. His opponent has a 4th base and is almost equal in workers, so income is going to be pretty good for Landoy right now. These Vikings are going to counter these Colossi, and there's no Wall Prison to help Micro. So these Colossi are just going to get shot out of the sky by these Vikings. Ooh. 4 health Colossi. This needs to be a really good disruptor shot to help win these fights. There are a lot of Marauders here, so that's a lot of really clumped value. But he's going to need to... He's behind economically now, so he needs to be getting more value out of his units than his opponent does. His positioning isn't great, he's just letting... Does not just let Landoy come down the ramp for free when he should have used the terrain to his advantage. Now he's having to move command to get into a decent position. While his opponent has ghosts and can EMP the hell out of these Archons. This fight was looking good for Tossadar, but kind of run out. So that was definitely GG to both. There was quite a bit of back and forth there, so it was a fun match to watch. So let's see, second one is a light shade. Okay. Light shade. There's some good things for this map for Terran, some good things for Toss. The third is kind of hard to attack into for Terran, I think, because Toss can get some good flanks against tank pushes, and there's a nice choke. Some nice positioning, like how you can stand like across here. It's not the smallest choke, but it's a choke. But then the fourth option, the triangle fourth, is pretty open, honestly. The main is pretty big, so lots of space for production for Terran, and also lots of space to drop. Also, the angle to come in from with Stalkers isn't the greatest. You can't really get to the back of the main easily. You have to go to right the front of the main, where tanks are going to be pretty easy to position. So I'm interested to see if Tostar's going to do the same 4-gate strategy, or if he's going to switch to maybe 2-gate, get a faster third. I wouldn't mind seeing 3-gate and going fast Colossi. And he's getting plenty of units, maybe a shield barrier's main, to help defend against his opponent's preferred strategy of the marine mine drop. It's gonna be Hellions, a Hellion drop. That's a really annoying strategy to deal with. Oh no! Oops! Is that an accident building the Reaper, or is that a legitimate thing people do? Because I've seen it happen a few times now, where just a random Reaper gets built. So I think this starport's going to be for Liberators. He's going to send one in to harass and then use the others for the push that's coming, because he's going for the tank play. Okay, so Tossadar did get to see the add-ons. I'm not sure if he checked to see which add-on it was. Ooh, proxy banshees. It is the 2-gate this time. Because this map doesn't really work for the 4-gate. So Tostar should know that something's up. You've got proxy... You've got a proxied starport. You've got tanks building. He could get things to defend it in time, I think. Well, no, he doesn't know it's coming. He only has one observer at home, which is kind of scary. Against Banshees, because they could hit from either side. I mean, like, by either side, I mean, it could hit your natural or your main. Okay, he didn't see the Banshees, and he doesn't have an observer here, so these Banshees are gonna get damage. Okay, that's a recall on the observer for sure. Yeah. So this is a really scary thing about going single observer, or double observer, and then going immortals, if you just don't have a lot of detection. So it's hard to defend Banshees well, especially if they surprise you, because you normally have your observers out on the map. I think we're gonna have a timing push, I think, because this is 3 racks before that. So, what is that? Okay, that's a starport. It's building a second starport, which is a bit weird. Maybe he thinks he's gonna lose his other starport. I really like his setup in his main though, and like his natural. He has 6 tanks. That is so many tanks right now. Look at those 3 probes go down. Ah, Liberator. I swear, if this probe's gonna run to its death, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, and then this one. Oh, it's so funny. And they just run to their death. That's gonna get cleaned up now. That Liberator, 6 kills. That is value. Poseidon really does not like getting his forge before, or his forge early. Holy shit, there's just no way to break this. Like, you've got to come in from like 2 angles, like come in here with charge lots, come in through here with charge lots, come in through here with charge lots, and like, I'd only try this with like 200 supply and I'd fuck down charge lots. These stalks are gonna get blasted. So charge lots come in a bit off sync. Stalkers blink out the way. You're gonna take down 2 tanks and let the other charge lots get on top of them. So this is gonna force a lift. This isn't gonna kill Lando. This is just gonna kill a bunch of workers. There's no observer here. You have cloaked banshees out on the map, and you don't build cannons in every mineral line. That's a yikes from me. He's building more banshees. I love it. That was a greedy move, landing the 3rd there. Before actually pushing their army away with yours. It's a very greedy move. I think he can break him though. If he moves up this ramp, and then just comes in from the right angle, I think he can break Landoy. If the charge lots aren't at the back. If the charge lots are at the back of his army, they're gonna hit late. Tossadar really needs to make something happen here though. He's on 3 base to 3 base, and his worker count isn't the greatest. He's behind 6 workers. He's going up to 6 gas now, so I'm going to try and tech up. So he's coming in from not the greatest angle, so these tanks are going to get a lot of fire. And the charge lots are all at the back, so they have to wait for all the other units to either die or move out of the way. So like, there were so many charge lots that just didn't get to engage at all. So that fight wasn't too well executed for Tossadar, and he has to move out from it. This control's just getting a bit awkward. Now ghosts are on the way. And the ghosts are gonna make these Archons just paper. Okay. 2 Banshees coming in now. Finally, we've got some cannons coming in for Tossadar to help defend against these Banshees. But this is going to force a recall. And if there isn't an observer with this, okay, recall the observer. This really isn't a great position for Tossadar though. Since he doesn't have the greatest tech right now. So he doesn't have the greatest tech or the greatest economy. All he's really got is like the brute force of how many zealots? There's 20 zealots! Damn. Okay, if he takes a good angle, this can work. But lots of his units were just kind of not engaging fully. And the zealots just get heighted. Good storm to start off with. There are a few ghosts. He's got like 2 EMPs here. And these chargers trying to get on top of the bio so that the tanks will start dealing friendly fire splash. Templar are bumping a bit, so EMPs will get a lot of value. The ghosts are actually out of EMPs, so there's nothing to stop these storms now. Decent control so far from Tossadar, killing off a lot of workers. He's starting to float quite a bit. So Tossadar's playing pretty well this game. Right now. He recovered nicely from all the Banshee harass and everything, and the rather awkward position he was in. I'd love to see Lambdoi try and do some kind of drop right now though, because he doesn't really have anything on the map for him. Like, army advantage, I think actually, like, Lambdoi has a strong army right now. Like, he has ghosts which do really well versus all these Archons, and the bio should shred the Stalker and Charge lot. But Tossadar just keeps taking such good fights, it's really impressive. Like, some of the fights are awkward. Like, there are awkward things about them. But they just end up working out for him anyway. So it's probably going to be a dull moment till the next 2 Colossi are finished, and +2/+2 is finished for Tossadar, then he's going to try and move out. But Lambdoi, he's down 30 on his supply. He's down a lot of workers, but he has a moment here where if he can micro this well, he has a few Vikings, he has 2 Vikings, okay, never mind. But he has ghosts. And the ghosts do really well. These medevacs, all of it on attack moves, so the medevacs actually stay behind. And they get picked off. That's really not nice for him. Attacking into the 4th here is a bit risky, because it's planetary, and because it's such an awkward angle to attack into. His entire army gets in, but he loses the Templars and the Prism. That is huge. So Tossadar can't really engage now, because he has no Templar, he has no Storm. There are only 2 Vikings though, so maybe he could make something work. His army getting engaged on one Colossi gets shot down almost immediately. Another one's going to fall soon, getting chased down by these Vikings. There's no Prism to reinforce. 2 more Vikings coming. And he's going to be able to take out all these Colossi now, so there's no more splash for Tossadar. And Bio just shreds gateway units like nothing else. So this is a really good fight for Lambdoi. Still has 4 tanks left. Although that is some nice tank positions. That's just going to give so much cover to this bio. It's going to be really difficult for him to push in. But, I mean, if he moves 2 tanks down to the low ground, the 5th base on 6 o'clock is just not possible. I'd love to see a charge lot run by Tossadar though. Maybe start DTs. Ooh, that's a nasty hit. Yep, just as I was saying. Because Lambdoi can't push it. If Tossadar sets up right positionally, Lambdoi can't actually engage. Because of the cannons and shield batteries and everything. And Tossadar doesn't need to take the fight, he doesn't need to dislodge Lambdoi because he's not threatening anything. So sending these charge lots in is killing off so much teching. This is a lot of gas lost for Lambdoi, and now these SCVs are going to start falling. Meanwhile, Lambdoi is trying to move the tanks down, but good disruptor hits, threatening with the Protoss army, is keeping him a bit at bay. Flank setting up. Charlotte's losing a lot of health on the flank, but they do get on top of the army. Disrupt hits aren't the best, but there's just so much on the ground, and like he's had such an advantage for such a long time, he can just push the army away so easily. Once he actually gets a good position. How these medevacs are still loaded with units, he blinks under, he can just snipe so much. So, this next fight's going to be a bit difficult, because there's a lot of ghosts still. There's 3 ghosts, a lot of energy. They can EMP the Archons as they did. One ghost gets caught out and a bunch of bio. Killed by the Disruptor. There's no Colossi anymore. Ooh, Liberator production started. Planetary Fortress started in the top middle base. So, this turn, Lambdoi is just doing a really good job of staying alive, even through all these fights where he's losing so much. He's just taking so long to actually die. He's doing a good job of just staying somewhat afloat and making it really hard for Tossadar to actually end the game. Good catch on this planetary. Just not letting it stay up. Lots of SCVs and mules dying there. Now, these Liberators are really stacked on top of each other, so the Archon splash is going to really melt through them. But aside from these Archons, there's no splash here, so he really can't take a fight against the bio. He needs the Colossi with his army. He needs to get Disruptors out and Colossi. I'd love to see Storm and Prism again, because it was really working for him. So this Liberator, the Liberator Ras pulls a bit of attention away. I think Tossadar is going to just give up the base in the top. And then just like, let his army run. Maybe if he recalls like half the army. He really doesn't want to give up this base though. This base has so many workers. But if Lambdoi loses all of his army here, sending a splash shot into your own probes. Tossadar, you madman, losing 24 probes there. But I think he's going to go for the kill now, isn't he? Just leave a few Stalkers here. And then just take the fact that you've just killed quite a bit of bio there. He only has a 40 supply lead. Okay, almost 50. Okay, here we go. Catching out all of these medevacs. Now has double the army supply. And the upgrade lead is actually closing now. +3/+3 gonna be finished for Tostar in just a second. And now this fight should be the last fight. Lambo's held on really well, but he's just been behind from the start. Behind from rather early on. Ooh, massive disruptor hit. Very good fight by Lambo. Very good fight. But it just wasn't enough in the end. Okay, so we're going to take a minute break. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute to because my mouth is dry as hell, so I need to get some water. I will be but a moment, ladies and gentlemen. When you start talking quick like that, your mouth gets dry from casting so fast. Okay. So, third map, last of this best of 3, is Pillars of Gold. This has been a longer cast than yesterday. A bit longer. But this has been good. We've had some good games. It's been really fun. I hope you lot are enjoying it. If you are, follow. Do the match Reno stuff, please. Really helps with the prize pool and everything, and supporting the tournament, supporting the players. Okay. So we've got a real series on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 1-1. Exciting games. Plenty for me to say. I don't have to think as much, which is always nice. A small brain Wolfshaw doesn't have to use his brain, can just use his killer rap god speaking skills. Talking at 20 words a minute. 20 words a second or whatever. Same thing. Ooh. We're gonna have a proxy Stargate. I remember there was a pro game where there was a proxy Stargate at this position. I think it was Trap versus Time. I feel like it was Trap versus Time on this map. It was opposite spawn positions though. Oops a daisy. I forgot to do the scene. Yeah, it's going to be a proxy Stargate. It's just really quick second gas. So I think Lambdo's going to be able to spot that something's up when he sees the second gas really quick. This is going to be proxy Void Rays actually, isn't it? Ooh. Ooh la la. Love it. Bit of cheekiness, bit of cheesiness. No one's playing standard today. I hope Lambdoi wins because I want to cast a PVT again. Although I would quite like to see Tossadov as I think it's Guitar King. No, Lambdoi would have to lose for it to be a PVT. Silly me. Yeah, it's going to be Proxy Voids. Oh, let's go, let's go. So the bunker positioning is a bit awkward. I think he's expecting something to come from the low ground. But there's no real reason to not have the bunker above the barracks, where it can cover both the ramp and the high ground, because where it's positioned it doesn't actually defend against void rays coming from above like the gas in the factory to kill off that bit of production. I should really try playing this sometime. So yeah, he sees his proxy void ray, so he does just get rid of the other bunker. There's actually not enough CDs here to repair, so this bunker might actually go down. This is going to be really bad if it does. Pulling a few extra SCVs, slowly getting its health back up. So he will save it. That drained a lot of resources for Lambdoi. Fair bit of mining time lost, a lot of minerals. But at the same time, it did cost Tossadok quite a bit of shield battery energy, which is basically minerals. So I'm not liking how this is looking for Tossadok. He really does not have a lot going for him right now. He's going to kill one of the supply depots, loses a shield battery. I think I'd rather lose a shield battery, or lose a supply depot, to be honest. He's going Vikings. Oh, Colossal, Air, Phoenix even. It's a really interesting decision. It's going to make him able to pick up the Cyclone, which now just died. These three Void Rays going to focus down the bunker, but don't actually kill it. There aren't enough shield batteries here to heal. Losing that SCV. So there's a lot of turrets here. It's going to lose the supply depot again. Excuse me. Okay, another Cyclone out. The Cyclone lock-ons haven't really been particularly well used. The bunker does actually go down this time. Phoenix and probe production. Trying to rebuild the bunker, but also build extra turrets to defend it. This is an interesting thing about the Phoenix choice, because he can't attack buildings with them, but they also are kind of more useful in the later... in the transition. So I think economically Lambdoi is in a good spot, but he won't be for particularly long. He needs to get this command center landed. It's going to be difficult when a lot of his defense is focused around these turrets. He's got a lot of money in them, so I can't really move. This is why he has the Phoenixes, so he can lift up the Cyclones when they lock on, cancelling the lock on and getting the kill. Normally. So Tossdart just needs to delay the natural just a bit longer, and then he can just leave and be safe. And any units he gets, as long as he trades well, is good. He's going for Blink, he's getting some gateways up at home. Actually got double Viking production. So I'd love to see some Immortals. Because the Void Ray and the Phoenix, like, the double Viking production is eventually going to overpower the Phoenix and Void Rays, but when they're dead, the Vikings have nothing to do but land, and then the Immortals are going to be just so good versus them. If he goes Immortal Archon Charge Lock with Storm, like, that is a lot of gas. You can do that on 3 bases. Like, as the eventual tech progression. Overextending a bit with those Vikings. And just losing one isn't the greatest. I kind of like the fact that there's only one pylon here, so the position is going to be easier to depower, but once Tozdar actually making a move up, trying to kill off all these things, and like, the ground army just gets stomped. All the Cyclones get lifted. There is one Cyclone here, but there are 2 Phoenixes that can lift it up. That's well done, Tozdar. Very well executed. So that is going to be Guitar King versus... It's going to be Guitar King versus Lambdoi. I think. My memory is just way too weak. That was... Yeah, I really liked the Phoenix play. Like, he didn't get stuck on just like massing uh, Void Rise. Like you normally do. He deviated a bit, and it really worked out for him because his opponent was going so heavily on the Phoenixes. Okay. So the last best of three. This has been fun. I'm getting tired, but this has been fun. Had some good matches. I hope you lot have been enjoying my casting. I feel like at some points I feel a bit boring because I just question why people are interested, but you guys seem to be enjoying it. You know, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So if you're enjoying it, just drop a follow and stuff. Lando just needs to grab his water and then we're gonna start. Hydration is important, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to do that. Bass just saying in chat, the first map is Pools of Gold, and Bass is just like, I saw a nice Protoss strat on this map 5 minutes ago. I will laugh my ass off if Bass proxy voids. Bass. I don't think Bass is going to do it. So it doesn't play like that if he's not tilted. I want to see the proxy void. Because that would just be silly. I mean, it worked for Tossadar. So this is the last map. Last best of 3, if I can speak. This is going to decide where the final standings for this group are. and just help settle the map score and stuff. So this is still important. It will help decide people's standings in the playoffs, I think. I think this is qualifier. But in the next set of things. Final Scout's pretty early. Does get spotted by the SCV. Does give him a lot of time to harass this SCV and actually kills it. Almost loses the probe at the same time though, so it's a bit risky play by him. But it delays the racks, which is really nice. Oops, bit of a supply bulk for Bass. That's always... This is one of the worst feelings, when your first unit is delayed like this, because you need it so bad, normally. No, Lando's only going Marine. What I want to see is I want to see Bass making, fixing his mistakes he was making before and getting just faster tech and better economy. His build order was really just not good enough in the first best of 3 these two played. And that really let Lando take a lot of advantages and win. So Depth getting in early enough to almost kill the SCV. He's not going to be able to delay the CC, but he will be able to get scouting, but no damage. It's fine. He lost only a few health, 6 health. So we're gonna have to. How many more gateways are we gonna see? It's gonna be 3 gates, 2 gates. It's gonna be 3 gates in a DT shrine. Well, no, yeah. Okay. So it's gonna be Blink DT with charge, and he's gonna blink on top of the tanks. This is actually a really strong build. I've seen the player I normally watch is Holy Hit. I've seen him do this a fair bit. And it can be very effective. But if this Reaper gets in and scouts the DT Shrine, that's massive. Just barely. He did not see it. So that's actually a huge piece of info. Now he's not going to know to build a he needs to build a Raven. And he's not going to hold on to a scan. Prism though. There's Vikings out, so that's going to make it very difficult for the Prism to get in and drop the DTs. So you should see DT Blink start chrono. third base for both players started at the same time. Babas is ahead in workers as it's supposed to be. Okay, and we have 0 scans. We have 1 scan in 5 seconds. So he's gonna target down the tank. He's gonna kill a few workers. Now he's gonna want to split off these DTs, so only one of them can get scanned at a time. And now Lando has to wait 15 seconds for the next scan. He's actually gonna have to lift this CC. It's starting to burn. Is he gonna let it just die? No good. Ugh. This missile turret isn't gonna get finished. Look, this is doing good damage. He's killed quite a few workers with this. Meanwhile, he's got charge, immortal production started. Got a forge going. Now he doesn't have any splash tech yet, which is a bit late. But that's all the DTs cleaned up now. So that is quite a bit of value Bass got with that. Now he just needs to get his tech, continue his economy to boom, and just not die. If he can not die and get his splash tech going in a reasonable time, he'll be in a really good spot this game. But getting the splash damage at a reasonable time was what he really struggled with last best of 3. It's questionable if this start will matter if he can't fix that mistake, just because of how critical your tech is as toss. No. Lambdoi has no tanks. Okay, he has 1 tank now. But the DTs killing off all the tanks means that any kind of push is going to be really weakened. It's going to be just Fire and the Raven. And that's going to be the main strength of it. Which Chocolate Archon can deal with pretty well. Up to a point. Bass gonna start 4th base. I'd love to see him just like drop both forms of splash now, because he has the gas for it. If you get a 4th base, get both forms of splash, you're gonna be in such a good spot. Drop a 2nd forge, because you want a 2nd forge. When your opponent gets a 3rd and a 4th base, you want a 2nd forge. Okay, we've got Templar Archives going. This is just such a strong push with how much the DTs did. A few of the Zealots are going ahead of the rest of the army, so then it doesn't matter, just so little fire, they just run over it, they're down. So that first match goes to Bass. That was... Okay, what's the second map? I love how well Lambdoi is taking this. I love how good sports the players are being today. It is so much fun to get to joke about all of this. It just makes everything so much more fun when, like, there's no toxicity, there's no tilt, no salt. There's no salt in the chat. It's just beautiful. It's like, we're just here enjoying some fucking good StarCraft. So, this is just really enjoyable. I hope you lot are enjoying this as much as I am. So yeah, my casting's a bit slow sometimes. Bit dull, but it's fun. Okay. I really love some of the weird, wacky strats that have been used. Like, they're not insanely uncommon. Like, yeah, we've seen Proxy Void before, but it's like, it's not... It's a bit cheesy. It's a bit spicy. You know, it's got that flavour to it. And it just makes things more fun. I mean, macro games are good, don't get me wrong, I love playing them. I love casting a good one where there's lots of action. But, you know, just add a little bit of flavour, a little bit of spice into it every once in a while. It's good. We haven't seen any blocks on the Protoss' Nexus today or yesterday. It's just a bit curious. I feel like blocking the Nexus is just such a powerful thing to do. Alright, that stuff is gonna lose somehow. Kills a Marine though. So that's 50 minerals of value. Very nice. Okay. So, it's going to be a 3-gate blink build this game. Ah, you know what I really feel for? I really feel like playing... I really feel like playing the old like 2 really greedy fast third base at like 3 minutes. You go like 3 gas, double forge, get a 4th base, and just go mass charge lot. Charge lot Stalker, and then just like get really late Templar Archives and Colossi, but just like have a massive economy. And just overwhelm them with Zealots. Daisy. He's moving out with his Stalkers at the same time as the mine drops coming. So, good blink though, but those, ooh, so close. He's so nearly lost like all of those probes. That was a really risky move out with the Stalkers. Nice blink onto the bunker. There's no tanks here, so like there's nothing defending the low ground for Landoid. Like his unit positioning is really questionable. Like he's moving both of the tanks down when he really doesn't have to. He could just move one down, and one is enough to really scare a Protoss out of trying moves like that. But now, because he's got both tanks on the low ground, his high ground is really vulnerable. So this stim could get sniped pretty easily. If Bass had high ground vision at least. No, that bio is not enough to fight the Stalkers though. Lando's build this game is that he's the one with the questionable build this game. His work account is really far behind. Bass is actually 70 workers at 730. That's pretty good. And these Stalkers are just staying out on the map and getting quite a bit of value. Although there isn't much at home for our blue Protoss player. So this double drop's going to be a bit... is going to threaten this 4th. I think the Stalkers are going to be there on time though. So, the match needs to be cancelled. That's a nice pick off by the bio there. Why do Terrans do this? This feels so risky to me. Like, he has nothing at home right now. Like, if Charge Rots came in, like, okay, they'd get blasted to high hell by the tanks. The tanks would kill everything else as well. Medevacs drop their units again. Oops, today's he actually doesn't get to pick up the rest of the bio. And then he loses the other Medevac because he isn't paying complete attention. This is one of the really difficult things about StarCraft, is just paying the level of attention you have to pay to some things. Like this Colossi here, which is now going to get stimmed onto. It's going to take quite a bit of bio down with it. But losing that production time, it's going to mean that there's going to be less time where Vass has the 3 Colossi that you want, whilst Lambdoi does not have enough Vikings to deal with it. There's going to be a shorter time span, because he's going to have to rebuild one of those Colossi. Not the greatest start for Lambdoi this game, but he's been doing well to keep up and to get back into things. Good use of these zealots here, just spotting for the 4th base. It's really important to know what position your opponent's in economically by seeing their base count, because that helps you decide if you need to attack or if you need to defend. Because if they're worse economically than you can just defend and you will gain an advantage through that. If they're equal or better than you need to look around the map to find some advantage. Almost had a bit of an F2 there with the units. This small run by party with pulling out a lot of units out of position. But decent split. Gonna catch off that medevac. I think from here he can actually just straight move to this location and then attack the 3rd. He's gonna need to warp in more than 2 stalkers here. Because 2 stalkers is not enough to defend 2 medevacs of bio. So that's actually a lot of tech that's got depowered, a lot of production. So Bass floating 2.4k minerals, he's coming in here with a big army, but he's not going to be able to reinforce it as well as Lambdoi is. He's not actually going to be able to make use of his income advantage as well. So he's going to have to really break him quickly, or the reinforcements of Lambdoi is going to just overwhelm eventually. But he's right on top of a lot of production of barracks. A lot of his anti-air died. So he's going to lose these 2 Colossi here. And losing all that production, he's floating 3k minerals now, not because of bad macro, but because his gateways got depowered. 6 gateways. And he did kill a fair bit of army, but all of his got killed as well. So this is really a bad spot for Bats. His Forge is getting depowered as well. I think Lambdoi can just move across the map and probably kill him. Good pick off on that medevac. That's definitely going to be important. Now he has to rebuild a bunch of these gateways and repower the old ones just to be able to spend this massive bank he's built up. Supercharge used, but not actually enough to get through the DPS and the Marines against these probes, which is kind of funny. So this push is gonna, or this block is gonna be cleaned up, but the rest of Lambdoi's army is pushing across the map now. And that is a scary amount of bio, especially for how little Bass has at the moment. He has 25 army supply. So I think it's just kind of GG. The Liberators are just zoning and the Bio's going to just push through. Chargelot's starting to run through, but they're sort of doing a bit of a conga line. There's no anti-air to help defend these Colossi. So they're just going to get gunned down by the Vikings and run over by the Marauders. Shield battery overcharge used again, but there's nothing really there to be healed. A few cannons, there's just a bunch of marauders in the marines. Bass is going to end up dying with 1.8k minerals in the bank because he just cannot spend the money. His production isn't strong enough. This is why you have to be really careful in PvT nowadays to not overextend and not lose your tech units. Because it really can just end the game so quick. It's going to try and get a charge like run by and kill off this planetary fortress, but all the bio and the SEV pull's going to just save it. So, Lambdoi takes that one. And we go to our third and final match. So what is the third map? Okay. Ooh, Death Aura! I like Death Aura. I don't want to give too much advice, like, before the game, because that feels kind of cheaty. Like, he's right, though, like, it's... You have to be very careful about how you attack and when you attack and where you attack against Terran. Because if you lose your tech units, you're just fucked. Honestly. Is there are windows you can attack in as TOS against Terran. Especially if your build order is on point. But if your build order isn't on point, and outside of those windows that you have, there isn't really... Straight attacking isn't the way to go. You have to be very careful. And the way I see it done in pro play is it ends up being a battle of attention and attention control. Where the TOS is using the combination of disruptors and blink DTs. Those are what win you games. You then have your backbone of Colossi, Stalker, Archon, Immortal, High Templar. You have that backbone of a Death Ball to be your main fighting force. But what actually lets you act and do things is your disruptors and your DTs. Your disruptors are a form of splash that is only countered by micro. Excuse me. Colossi are countered by Vikings and micro. Templar are countered by EMP and micro. Disruptors are countered by micro. There's no unit that counters them. So, but if you can micro, they're useless. So you have to use the Dark Templar in combination with the disruptors and in not positioning yourself where you have to commit to a fight. If you don't have to commit to a fight, what you can do is send out a disruptor shot and send out DTs to a planetary. And then you're wanting one of them to get big value. Either the disruptor shot's going to kill a bunch of bio, because that is the place where the Terran is not looking, or the DTs are going to kill the planetary, because that is where the Terran is not looking. In order to defend the DTs, the Terran needs to scan and needs to repair. In order to defend against the Disruptor, they need to split and focus fire. You can't do both simultaneously. So by controlling when both of those two happen, you can make them happen in such a way that they happen almost simultaneously. So it's very hard for the Terran to actually deal with. There's a proxy Stargate, by the way. Then, playing that style of toss, you have to... You're not allowed to stand in a position on the map where you are forced to fight head-on, where you have no terrain advantage, no serious terrain advantage. Because the point in the game where you go to that style, which is where they have Ghost, Viking, Bio, maybe Liberators, you have no army, you don't have an advantage in army strength. In a straight up fight, your army is probably weaker, unless you micro better. Okay. So, proxy Stargate. Oracle's gonna come out. I don't think this is gonna get any damage done, because there are gonna be there are 4 Marines here. No, 5. 5 Marines is enough to stop the Oracle for sure. Depth is in the natural, just denying a bit of mining time. Now we're gonna have a Cyclone and we're gonna get a Viking build, and the Terran's probably gonna do a very specific push that you do versus Stargate with the Cyclone and the Vikings. Twilight and Forge Tech, so it's gonna be a ground transition, or a gateway transition after this. If it were a Robo, we'd see no Twilight, maybe a delayed Forge. Yeah, there's not very much the Oracle can do, to be honest. Like, it stops being harassed. It's not harassable versus Terran anymore, because Terrans are too good, and Cyclones are really strong as well, and Vikings. Like, the technique, the knowledge part is too, like, it's at a point where you don't get damage with the Oracle. So it's more of a scouting tool. I'm not sure how I feel about the blink after going proxy Stargate, because your blink's going to be delayed. Yeah, you can get it on decent time to kite the push, but it's a lot of gas and minerals for a very late charge, which you need to defend the push. And the Oracle doesn't get a lot of damage value. It gets scouting information. Stim started. Stim is actually nowhere near done, so this bio isn't going to be able to deal with these stalkers too much. There shouldn't be a push for a good while. sure how the defense is going to go. The gates for Bass are actually really late. So, this is beautiful. I love the sight of this. Just mass gateway, just so beautiful. I mean, shield batteries. You can't really do much with shield batteries in this. Oh my god, is he just gonna move across the map? What is he doing? I'm not sure what's going on. He's just getting a massive flank. This is just gonna crush it. Like, Bass just wins here. Like, blink under the Raven. Blink from the one. Oh, that was a cute move by Lambda. He dropped the Cyclone. And picked up some extra bio, because the bio is more valuable, by far. But it's not gonna matter. He's just got... Bass has just got too much stuff. There's not enough bio here, no mines, not enough tanks. There's nothing here really to defend for the Terran. So this is just going to be a case of mass gate style. Fun style. That was just a brutal way to lose. GG to Bass. It's very nice. So that was the last match. I will have to thank you all very much for watching. As Moobot just said in chat just a few minutes ago, thanks to our sponsors, Berserkers Esports, Matruno, and Sniper's family, Mr. and Mrs. Sniper. So, thank you to them for helping us run and do this awesome tournament. Thanks to all the players for playing. I wouldn't have anything to cast without you. Thanks to everyone who watched. I hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed casting. GG's to everyone. It was good games. Everyone was really good sports today. I absolutely loved it. So that's all from me. We're going to raid Wardy now, I believe. That's what Sniper told me. I have no idea what he's up to. Probably casting or playing. So that's been all from me. Remember to follow. I don't think you can subscribe to the Twitch channel yet. But yeah, if you enjoyed watching, throw us a follow. We will be live in a little while with the next group. In 2 hours, we will be live with Group D. Which is an all-Terran group, actually. It's Endless, Slipchip, Ziza, and Illusion. So, yeah. Cut to the raid. Ah, I can do the raid. Lovely.